And we got to start with what used to be called, I think, the Outback Bowl. Now it's ReliaQuest, whatever the hell that is, Bowl. Mississippi State beats Illinois 19-10. What a way to honor Mike Leach by the defense coming through once again. I mean, it was an ugly performance, all-time bad beat. If you missed it, Mississippi State was up 13-10, and Illinois in a last-ditch effort. Kind of a bad coaching job by Zach Arnett and company. You know, his first game management situation, could have kicked a field goal, left no time on the clock. They left a couple seconds. That gave Illinois an opportunity to try one of those, Stanford Hail Mary miracle plays where all the laterals, they were doing it. Marcus Banks, Mississippi State defender, picked it up, returned it 60 yards for a touchdown. All-time bad beat if you bet on Illinois. No one on this show certainly did, though. So Mississippi State not only wins but covers the spread thanks to that touchdown as time expired. But Mississippi State, again, they won the Egg Bowl thanks to Zach Arnett and his defense. They won this game because of the defense, too. Will Rogers and the offense, they came through, but it was a sluggish performance. Look at their first 5 drives in the bowl game against Illinois. And maybe Illinois does have a good defense. That was something we heard leading up to this ball game, and it turned out to be true. But I didn't want to give him the credit after losing Ryan Walters, their defensive coordinator. Now he's the head coach of Purdue. But Mississippi State, right out the gate, punt, and 2 interceptions. And Will Rogers, the one on the goal line, that was bad. He's played too much football to be making mistakes like that, particularly in the red zone. And then the second one, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. He just threw it up for grabs. It was a really bad start to the game for Will Rogers. I think that's fair to say. But the final 5 drives included 3 scoring drives, won them the football game. Will Rogers, like I said, he started out 5 of 11, and he was at one point 11 of 21 through the air. That was after that second interception. But Will Rogers came through in the clutch, finished the game, completing 16 of his final 20 passes, including a touchdown and the game-winning field goal drive. So Will Rogers, at the end of the day, did what had to get done to honor Mike Leach, get this win for Mississippi State, get to win number 9. And again, fans somewhat disappointed with an 8-4 season. I'm even seeing some fans upset with Will Rogers and Mississippi State after a 9-win season. I know it could have been better, but my God, just be thankful for where you're at. I mean, the Florida Gators can't even get there. Auburn can't get there. Ole Miss certainly didn't get there this year. So 9 wins, it's nothing to look over there for Mississippi State. They have one of the longest bowl streaks, including I believe the longest bowl streak in program history actively going right now. So again, I get it. Bowls, not the goal any longer at Mississippi State, but put together a 9-win season, that's not something to overlook. And you got players like Simeon Price, who very little impact all season long. 82 rushing yards on the season, but in a game like this with no Dylan Johnson, 68 yards. Woody Marks got kind of banged up. But again, this game was won thanks to Zach Arnett in this defense. 7 sacks. That's incredible. 10 tackles for loss. Illinois had 10 possessions, only 2 scoring drives, including 1 field goal. So Mississippi State defense stood tall. Continuation of what they've been doing all season long. This 3-3-5 Zach Arnett defense creating havoc for opponents. And Illinois just basically had no answer for it. And that's got to make Zach Arnett happy. He's undefeated now as a head coach. 1-0. Great start. Potentially a big... And don't forget, going back to our early signing period, National Signing Day, whatever you want to call it. I mean, they didn't let anyone get out. I think they had 1 decommit since Zach Arnett's become head coach. And they landed an All-American safety that they had to get in-state. Mississippi State's got some momentum under Zach Arnett. And if you're not exactly happy with everything, it sounds like big-time changes are coming. According to Bruce Feldman of The Athletic and Fox Sports, Mississippi State Big moves are coming on Mississippi offensive staff, according to Bruce Feldman. Football Scoop is also reporting the same. They're saying inside receivers coach Drew Hollingshead, outside receivers coach Steve Spurrier Jr., running backs coach Jason Washington, defensive line coach Jeff Phelps. All of those guys are reportedly going to be moving on, according to Football Scoop, with other potential changes possible there in Starkville. So Zach Arnett working quickly to put his fingerprints on this program. That's another added bonus. We talked about the timing and everything and signing day, having to get ready for a bowl game. Zach Arnett being named head coach. He also has been there long enough that he can evaluate who's doing a good job, who could be doing better, maybe bring in some of his own guys. We'll have to see who they bring in. There is a hot rumor, which I don't put a ton of stock into, but we'll see. Kendall Briles, Arkansas offensive coordinator, that would be a coup of a hire if Zach Arnett could get it. Doesn't quite fit what Will Rogers does at all, so I don't know if that's going to happen, but that is a rumor out there, so we'll have to see about that. But let's kick it over to Zach Arnett. Again, only the second time he's had him a presser here after the bowl win over Illinois. Very prideful in his defense, and I love the fact that he gives Leach a shout out here. One of the coaches apparently got proposed to his girlfriend, Zach Arnett. I don't know how he feels about that one. And then I just love the fact that he admits Mike Leach would not have been happy about how he handled that end of the game situation. Left too much time for Illinois to potentially pull off a miracle.
Zach, after the game, you had an assistant coach propose to his now fiance. You had players signing a Mike banner. You had Will Rogers waving the Mike flag everywhere. So emotional for all those guys. What were the emotions kind of like for you after the game, being around all of that and, winning this one?
We had a player propose.
Coach Washington proposed.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought Coach Leach had enough viral moments of talking about what to do in terms of marriage, that you wouldn't think that would happen. But I guess in terms of Coach Wash, I would suggest elope. I would definitely say that. But yes, it's an emotional game, obviously. We had a lot to play for today. The thing I don't want to get lost in this is we had a chance to get the 9 wins, which I believe, and someone can fact check me on this, but I believe is the only 10th time in school history. So these players have left a legacy on Mississippi State football, and we're incredibly proud of their efforts and their success this season. And it's a perfect springboard into the offseason.
The game-winning field goal. What was going through your mind as you saw that go through?
I was pretty mad at myself because that was a failure of the head coach. That should have been the last play of the game, and obviously I did a poor job of communicating that we were going to center the ball and take the clock down to 2 or 3 seconds, so that way we ensured that the kick was the last play of the game, and that didn't happen. So that is a failure of my responsibility as a head coach, and I was pretty angry at myself because that last play should have never happened where they had the chance to lather the ball all over the field. And I certainly hope that the little personal foul there at the end, you got 2 teams competing obviously to the maximum there because the game comes down to 1 play. Really, that never should happen. And so I apologize to Coach Bielema about that because that timeout was taken too early. That was completely my fault as a head coach. I take full ownership of that, and hopefully I learned from my mistake there, and it never happens again.
You guys did just such a great job getting pressure on defense today. What did you think of that effort from the defense today and at Austin?
Very proud of the defense. Obviously, we're kind of a veteran group over there, particularly up front, so we need those guys to play to the utmost of their abilities because that's kind of the veteran experience group, and in the back end too as well. And they did that today. I know the last time we went out on Thanksgiving, I think we had a whole bunch of TFLs in that game. I'm excited to see the stat sheet tonight, but very proud of those guys.
Now the other SEC